know, that like something.
Something spanky.
Yeah, something spanky.
Oh man, all this spank. That's what I brought the other guitar too. Like, I don't really know, like.
Yes, if you can see, it's kind of up there.
Okay.
If you can see yourself, and don't mind the delay. Go for it.
You want to jam something together?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, let's do like, let's just play like Clapton tune. Maybe let's do like Crossroads or something like that. Like those are kind of that's kind
Sure,
of
whatever you want to do.
Kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. So what's that like? Yeah,
It's
well,
so
let's talk,
different, man.
dude. All right, so happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy Wednesday.
Thanks for tuning in. So we got, how do you say your name? Jeff Klinetob?
Klinetob.
Klinetob. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you've played with Matt Bowers, who's a drummer in my band.
Yes, I have.
Right. So that's
Yes,
kind of how I kind of heard about you. And you were in like how many different bands are you in?
Several.
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 But you're like
So we go with like four.
like
There's
four.
some, like that are regular, better things.
So
Yeah.
what? So but you gig around town like constantly. Like 4 bands. You got to be like stupid busy.
As much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
So the calendar coordination is it's tough, but everyone's kind of on board with it, and
Yeah.
you use a little bit of a sub network where you have to, and sometimes you get in a bind where gotta prioritize something.
Yeah.
Usually any kind of band thing over like a duo thing or a trio thing, and,
Yeah.
or a club date over like a bar date, kind of things you do, but
But now you
get out there and do it.
Yeah. So you do. We all do a bunch of stuff, but you do a lot of country stuff, right?
I do.
And I'm so happy to have someone in here that plays country
Yeah.
music, man. That can do a little chicken picking with me. And so I think Matt subbed for you guys was that in Peterbilt?
Yeah.
Or maybe in like a couple bands?
Well, yeah. Matt subbed with us with Peterbilt
Yeah.
a couple of occasions, and then I ended up in another band with Matt for Josh Willis over on the Eastern Shore. So
Gotcha,
his music
yeah.
stuff is Jay Corsi Willis is kind of the musician name there.
And what is that? What
I
is
was
that
stoked
gig?
about that.
What kind of gig is that?
Oh man, he's a great writer, and he's got this grunge thing going on. I mean, with
Really?
his voice and his writing, it's like you listen to it and you're like, dude, this is like a great Alice in Chains record that like belongs like right now. And it's
Really?
like,
Well,
yeah,
I'm totally
it's
intrigued,
super
man.
cool. You got to check it out, and like we had been doing some. I guess the record was maybe about 2 years old at this point. So he's got some new writing, and kind of got this band together. And he was ended up tracked it up the right way, and we used some other guys. I know Brian Ewald had done some of the tracking on that record.
Gotcha, great
And,
player.
Yeah.
Brian's fantastic.
Well, it's not like a mystery. He like lands on a lot of albums. Like anybody locally is like, well, I need a
if you have
guitar
one
on
call,
this.
you pretty much call him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Super versatile. So.
So okay, so you got that, and then you got Peterbilt, which we talked about was a great name for a country band. What's the deal with that band?
Well, it absolutely is, and that was actually the second choice name on that one. The writer and leader of that band, his name is Pete Best. And was traveling, doing stuff as the Pete Best Band.
Gotcha.
That kind of came to a abrupt halt due to a legal injunction from Pete Best, who's the original drummer for the Beatles. I think most people, when they think the Beatles, think of Ringo Starr,
Right.
not Pete Best. So I think he's still salty about that, and was like, "How dare you go train?
So what is this? So
how
like- so
dare
like-
you be born as Pete Best?"
So like Pete Best from the Beatles is on Google and he's like searching for himself or whatever, and he's like, "Who's this dude in Maryland?"
I guess so.
And he
man.
actually like contacted him and like
Yeah.
with like through a lawyer or something
So-
and said like stop using the name.
Yeah, it was like a cease and desist kind of thing. So Peterbilt was born,
That stuff happens, I
Out
guess.
of that.
Man. Yeah. All right.
But yeah, no, Pete is a super talented songwriter.
Uh-huh.
Spent a lot of time down in Nashville, and then kind of going back and forth, working for a publisher down there.
Yeah. Matt
He's
told me
now-
you guys are a really strong band.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
it's
loves
a lot of
playing
fun,
with you
man.
guys.
We loved having him sit in. Our normal drummer for that is Jason Heiser.
Yep.
He's another
The other great
guy
drummer.
that plays all over the place.
He is super
And
busy.
well, he's super easy to play with.
Makes all the difference, man.
Sounds good. Knows all the feels, all the songs. Plays them right.
Yeah, I've
can
actually
adapt,
never
too.
had an
It's not gonna,
opportunity
like-
to play with him, but I was telling you before, man. Like I feel so privileged to play with Matt because like you just like don't even think about the time moving around or anything. The dude is just like always there.
Solid.
The bottom never falls out at all.
Never,
so
never.
Matt, if you're watching, we love you, man.
We do. We absolutely do. We absolutely. Well, we were. I think we were going down this road of like memory and
Mhm.
how Matt is one of these guys, not only as a musician but just as a person that has an outstanding memory for details, and I think
Mhm.
can get into that space really easily when he's playing.
Yeah.
So he just always knows the song. Like you don't have to think at all.
It
about
always
what-
gives you a little hi hat or some little cue to the next part.
Dude, he's a backing track.
It's
like,
it's pretty.
It's perfect.
Pretty,
Like you
pretty
know
cool.
exactly where the song's going. You don't have to think about it
Yeah.
whatsoever. Just super solid. which is great because I'm horrible at that.
Yeah, someone needs to keep everybody's shit in check for sure. All right, so you got those two, and then what else you do?
Well, I am the music director and general manager for School of Rock in Gambrills.
Gotcha.
I've been doing that for a long time. That's my third location of that.
Awesome.
Started up in Baltimore, teaching like super heavily up there, doing private lessons, and then getting into like summer camp stuff, putting the kids together and really doing music, and then started show directing, and then became music director, and then opened a location down in Columbia, which is still there off Oakland Mills. That place is doing great, and then I transferred a little closer to home in Gambrills. So I've been there for the last year, and that program has really taken off and doing great.
Dude, that's so cool.
I fell in love with it.
So about the School of Rock thing, just out of curiosity, so the way that you guys kind of work it is like students take private lessons, but then they also sign up for shows that are like themed shows. Is that like the basic gist of it?
That's exactly it. So
Okay.
It's a little different than there's a lot of music programs that do it and kind of try to organize bands with the kids, like specifically.
That's what I did at Mike's Music.
Yeah,
and
that can be really cool too. It really can. We do these theme stuff. We look at it more like you would maybe like a musical production. So think of it as like, hey, you have this cast, and you've got a couple of maybe like 3 or 4 drummers and like a little roster of guitar players, like 6 or 8, which is cool because they get to play with a bunch of people. What's your I think like in a band, particularly if you're a super beginner, like that just becomes who you play with. So
that's a really good
you get
point.
this different kind of opportunity, and then when like Bobby, who's like the drummer guy, and he's like parents are in the military around here or something, and they're like ship off, and now they're in San Diego, like what happened to the band, man? And or if in the middle of the semester, and like we got people to cover it, we got a bunch of people in, and so it's community, making friends and like meeting different styles of people, different singers, different.
That's so interesting because I feel like there's definitely a balance because there's one thing that I loved like when I taught the rock band thing at Mike's, which was getting the kids to actually like be a good band and get better together, but at the same time you're not playing with other people too, and it's like I feel like it's such a fine line between the balance between the two.
Yeah, our way of it has its there's caveats as well too. It's like we're sharing like rehearsal time and stuff, so we kind of rotate in and out, and it's got to be run correctly. I think if you do it any way that you do it, if you believe in the way that you're doing it and you really like stay true to it and do it correctly, like it can be great. I know down in outside of Annapolis, there's another Lee Pretty has a school there.
Gotcha.
And they do them like bands like that. And they do great, and some of the kids do like an awesome job.
Yeah,
so
there's no right or wrong way at all.
There's not.
And we're fortunate that we live in an area like I'm sure like managing one like we have so much good playing and teaching talent too to pull from. Like there's so many schools popping up, I feel, and there's so many kids around here that are getting into it. Gives me hope. Gives me hope for the future,
man. We the School of Rock primarily from the Baltimore one, because that was years ago. But this will be our 3rd year of doing it.
Yeah.
But we've been doing this alumni show at the 8x10, and the kids are all like either out in college or have moved away and have careers and stuff, but they kind of all come home between like Christmas and New Year's.
That's cool.
And it's super cool, man, because now, again, just to the way School of Rock does stuff with like kind of just throwing everyone together on a song, it's great because I can figure out who's going to be at the show. I put together like a spreadsheet and just give people assignments.
Yeah.
And they all just like learn it to the record, or like put a note like, hey, end it like this, start it like this, like give their singer or drummer or bass player.
They got it.
People never talk to each other, never do anything, just all learn it, come in a room and just like nail it. And, okay, cool, we're good. The show's tomorrow. Like just run it. Just make sure everything like, oh yeah, that weird harmonized guitar parts like that.
That's cool, man.
That's kind of a weird skill that they learn, is just to be. And I think this just applies to anybody if you're doing a band, and I think it's an important skill. It's just like do your homework. It's especially if you're gonna sub a gig or do whatever. Like learn to do your homework.
Yeah.
And like band practice is always a good thing. I'm not like anti-band practice because that's this foolish thing to say. You need time to be tight and really learn people's.
Who they are and
really
where you fit in there.
There's super value in like learning to like gel, but sometimes you got to do a fill-in gig, or you got to do something, or like even with your band, like hey, you're playing a wedding or something, and you got like 4 or 5 requests that you got to do, and you don't have time to do a rehearsal. So
we always have to do that, man. Like we do so many weddings and stuff, and we always have. Hold on a second.
Yeah, something's funny there.
Something is. I hear that sound. What's going on here?
It's that like cell phone sound through a.
Yeah, it's all right. Let me just. I think we're back on here. See, this is the internet, dude.
Okay.
It's just, it's always freaking something. All right, we're on. We're good. Sorry about that.
We're back. We're back. You should have heard what you missed. This is the greatest conversation ever tribute. Now what we're getting down to.
But no, it's true though, and we've all been guilty of being like really unprepared for rehearsal and practice.
Oh, absolutely.
And it just never goes well. If you can teach people to just do their homework and enough time, know how much time you need to do your homework, so you get in a room, you can actually gel. I mean, shit, our band's going through that right now. Like we have so many weddings and so many songs, and it's like, actually I've been the weak link lately in the past couple weeks, just because.
Yeah, you got stuff going on around the house.
Oh my God, we had this fire in the house, and the sickness went through. But anyway,
yeah. Well, if you're gonna be successful at this or anything, like you gotta put the time into it. If you don't like putting the time into it, like don't it happens. Then we can kind of skirt by on your talent every once in a while and just kind of or experience, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to experience.
I'll call mine experience and yours talent. But.
No, hell no. All right, let's do this. Let's play another one, and then we'll jump into your gear, because I really want to hear about this guitar and like your whole setup, man.
Sure.
So why don't we
dig into that?
How about something slow?
Ooh.
Something slow. We could do that Tennessee whiskey thing you were doing earlier, or anything you want, dude.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't know. I don't like play Clapton like super often, but I started that, and I love Clapton.
Do it.
Like I hadn't played Crossroads in forever, but I was playing that thing from like Bell Bottom. It's like kind of a cool.
I'll follow you. I don't know what it is, but
okay. It's C and then it's like an E7 over B, A minor, G, F, G, F, G.
I'll play it once. I'll follow you.
Yeah.
I won't screw it up too bad.
Yeah. It's like, this is a test. If you can't pick this up, you're fired.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
That's so good, man.
That's the one, man. That's the one.
Trying to hunt for something that wasn't there.
Right.
Oh, good
Dude, you played
call,
some
man.
nasty something or other in there, man.
I don't know what it was.
Just yeah.
Dude, no. I love all that stuff you're
It's like
doing,
you got
man.
like Jerry Reed, Brad Paisley, just you're like, and fuck.
You know, it is kind of Tourette's based, you know, where you're something nice and clean. And then just kind of let it just let it tumble down the hill, and then give me a major third again.
Yeah. No, those little open string scale patterns are like the nastiest little. They're super cool though, but you got into that from it's like Jerry's Breakdown, that like Jerry
that
Reed
bluegrass song. Yeah. Oh, dude, how does that go?
I haven't played that in. Oh man.
Is that the one that
But
where like the main
strings
solos
are all like out of order, you know, like the way that the riff goes. But
But isn't that the one where where that one bridge solo section, it just goes from A major to C major, it doesn't do A minor to C, like where it's like
oh my
where it's
God.
like
I haven't heard it now. Yeah. It's so weird.
You want to try one?
No. I don't even want to mess with that, man. But
that's some hard stuff because you really
it's been
got
a while since I've messed with that
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Ugh. That shit's hard.
Yeah, that stuff is nuts.
You're gonna give me something
There
to work
was
on.
that, and Yeah, then like the Brad Paisley, he did a nervous breakdown. It's got that kind of similar. What's it? He does this kind of like.
Oh, you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a great lick to do. Like if I'm
I do it with these. I do it with the open strings.
walking down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can always
I'm
like
gonna steal that.
That's that chickeny kind of thing in there. I gotta put.
And you were doing
guitar
some-
needs a little
Give it.
treble, which is interesting for that. The other one I have to dial it out of. That's like, but that's like gives it that like
Yeah.
nice,
Keep it.
absurd spank going.
More the better. Yeah, I haven't even switched to the, on here the.
Yeah. Word.
All right, well let's
This
talk
guy-
about
this
some
guy
gear,
always-
dude.
Okay, yeah.
So
Gear's cool.
you just got this Nash, Telly style,
Yeah.
right? So tell me the story. Why did you pick that of all the non-Fender Telly style stuff that's out there that's like overwhelming? Why did you pick the Nash?
Oh man, well you know what? This was not the one that I initially saw. There was this I think it was an Olympic white one, and it was out in Chicago at the Chicago Music Exchange.
Yeah, big
And,
shoe store.
Yeah. But this was on I wasn't there in person. I've been in there before, and
Right.
that was actually I had played some Nashes there. It was a couple maybe 2-3 years ago.
Right.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. I'm gonna buy one of these at some point.
Yeah.
And was just kind of thinking about getting a new guitar and cruising around, saw this one, was like, that thing looks freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Loved it. And talked myself into it. And I called up there, I was like, yeah, all right. Had somebody in Chicago go to the place and play this guitar for me. I was trying to find somebody get that happening.
Yeah.
Called up and they're like, yeah, it's here, man. And then it wasn't. It was gone. Somebody bought it that day. I woke up in the morning and was like, dude, I really like this guitar. And then
And it was
6
the
o'clock
exact
at night,
color
I
you
called.
wanted, yeah.
And they were like, yeah, no, it's gone, man. I was like, so then I kind of went on this little mission of trying to find another one because they're it's a pretty small company
Right.
Around. And I'd asked Ryan about he didn't have any in, he had some serves and stuff. So and then I found this one
Did
up
you
in
like the
Boston.
serves?
I didn't really go in and play them because this all happened really quick, and I've never bought a guitar through the mail before. I've never done it.
Yeah, and it worked out for you, huh?
It did, man. It did.
It looks great. I love
And
the finish and everything.
There was this one. When I saw this one, this came from Matt's Music, outside of Boston.
Yeah, I bought
And,
stuff from them before.
Yeah. And I saw it, I was like, oh man, that thing's super cool looking. I
Dude,
just
look at
wanted
that
something
neck,
to look
man.
really kind of got a cool
Yeah, show exactly. Yeah.
cool look on stage compared to my other telly, when I pick something up, and I didn't have a backup telly.
Yeah.
And I got
By the way, is this your main one back here?
this is.
Yeah,
is
that's
what
not
I've
mine
planned
back there on the
for,
wall, that's it.
For quite a while, and I picked this one up accidentally too. I went into Guitar Center in Glen Burnie maybe 6 or 7 years ago,
Right.
something. I don't know. Lose track of time sometimes, but I went in there to buy some strings, and Johnny Paulus, who everybody knows, worked there for forever. And you gotta kind of angle and get your hookup at Guitar Center.
Yeah,
It's somewhere or another. So I was waiting for my, he was my hookup guy there, and I'm waiting for some strings, and I'm going around, and because he's busy.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked this guitar up, just off the wall, never plugged it into an amp, was playing it, was man, this thing's great, it resonates, I love this guitar.
Yeah.
Hung it back up on the wall, and he's I get my hookup on my strings, he's do you need anything else? I'm
Maybe
well,
that guitar.
I was well, I was if you give me that telly and a case and this shit and get me out of here for $1,000, I'll take it. And he's doing the airport counter thing, with the, and he's
Really?
and he's yeah,
Hey,
man,
that's a good deal.
He's yeah, man, I'll do it. And I was called my bluff, and it was fuck.
And now I gotta buy it.
All right.
Yeah.
And I bought it. I loved it. Just absolutely loved it, man. But,
Awesome.
When I when we were here earlier, I took this out of the case and it had a string off it.
Right.
So it happened late in the gig, and I just Frankie G had a guitar for me and handed it over to me. But I usually don't bring a spare. And I was I'm gonna find a new telly, and this is
Now,
probably gonna be it. But
I was gonna say, now is that technically your number 2, or has that become your number 1 on stage?
You know what, dude? This is the second time that I've taken this out in public because the holiday week. I went and I haven't even played it in a band setting.
So you don't even know yet.
I have no idea. So
That's
I
exciting.
mean, I dig it, but I haven't done anything to it. I think this probably holds tune better than any guitar I've ever owned or touched or heard of, like Legend.
Yeah.
Because like it came like out of the box UPS like in tune.
And like intonated.
And like
and,
I've like I don't know.
That
I've
says
been
a lot,
playing it.
dude.
Like I took it in the car. I took it like home for Thanksgiving and was like playing it, and but not even with an amp yet. Like the first time I played it, it came on Tuesday last week,
Yeah.
and I played it on an amp for a little duo gig Thursday night.
Yeah.
It was the first time I plugged it in.
Yeah.
Same with that though.
Yeah.
Like I didn't plug that guitar in until I took it out on a gig. Like I bought it and I just didn't plug it in. I was like, I love this guitar. Like like the wood feels good. I feel it. It sounds good. It plays good. Like. What is it gonna suck when I plug it in? Like that's the dumbest part of it. The pickups and it, whatever. So
It's totally true, man. I always tell everybody like, if you go to a store and you find something that like you can't put down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something that you just like, you don't even know why you like it or love it. Like, get that because you'll play it more. Like forget about what name is on it, what pickups are in it. You know whether it's has frets made of the tears of unicorns or something.
Whatever.
Just
but this
buy
is
the
cool.
one that you really can't put down because you'll play
And
more.
I'm not a
and
big
it'll be
like spec guy. Apparently this has stainless steel frets because everyone that has picked it up has told me that. And I know it has Lawler pickups. I don't know who or what that is. I don't care. They're a lot hotter than whatever those are.
Yeah. And you'll find out.
Came in it.
You'll find out when you get in a live band scenario whether you like that more or not.
Yeah, it just is a little different tweaking. I normally play a Princeton reverb too, so this amp is a
Well,
little...
yeah, let's talk about your
Really
amp
too.
that you brought here.
I love this thing, man.
So how long have you had this thing?
I'd have maybe 10 years or
Yeah.
something like that. I mean, I bought it new from GC in Towson,
Gotcha.
and it's been
Got some good road wear on
it's
it.
done a lot of gigs, man.
Yeah.
But it's the Blues Junior, like the green board or cream board. I don't know. Before they did the cages and stuff on the back, and
Yeah.
it's had some work done to it. All the pots and stuff I had done at Big Crunch on Biddle Street. Brooks.
Yep. He's done all my stuff.
Yeah, so
Brooks is a good guy.
stuff just kind of breaks down on it, and like all that stuff was like board mounted and the input jack and all the stuff in this one now is like chassis mounted and like hand wired down to the board.
Yeah.
Same with the tubes because they were like, I guess they're board mounted too, and that stuff started they move around and jiggle around in there. So
In your car.
I guess the board comes like, I think delaminated is the proper word for that.
Couldn't tell you.
Don't know, but they cut out and stuff. And either they did that or Jeff Bober did that for me, like cut the board out and the tube stuff are like chassis mounted as well, the sockets of that. So I probably dumped more money in that. I could have bought that amp probably 3 times over as far as like repairs over the years, but that's kind of a tube amp thing though. Like buy one, like it's gonna cost you probably like $100-$150 a year to keep it running. And
Now when you gig with a tube amp, do you bring a backup? Or are you one of...
That's actually an interesting story.
I asked because I just had one blowing me a gig last week.
Yeah.
And I used to have a Dr. Z, and every time I took it to like Purple Moose in Ocean City, the thing would blow because the power shit there. And I had Matt Berry in here a couple weeks ago, and he also plays a Dr. Z, tube super boutique.
Oh yeah, no, I watched that. It was great.
Yeah, and he brings that power conditioner with him everywhere because of that.
Yeah. Which is a smart move.
It really is,
Because
man.
it does. It changes your.
Anyway, what's your story about
your tone
tube
from
amp?
like. Well, I got in like this. I don't know why. Just everything that I owned decided to like just keep breaking like at the same time. It was just like, oh, this amp's down. Like I got like all new like cables on the pedal board. I had one of these like a jack went out on this. I just constantly had stuff like dying on me at the most inopportune times. And
Isn't that the truth?
I was like, man, I need a backup rig. Like I just have to do it. And I found this this Duncan power stage thing that like can kind of live on your pedal board. It's like a little solid state amp. It's smaller than a DL4.
What a good idea. So if your amp does go,
yeah,
you can kind of plug
and
it
you
in
can
direct.
actually. I got a little speaker cable with like a female end on it, so like I could technically run it through the combo, so I don't need an extra
So you could
thing.
drive the speaker with your board, basically.
Yeah, and it wasn't. It's not a bad little sounding thing. It doesn't have
definitely
verb on it. And then I picked up this. I ultimately I don't think that's the rig for me. So I did a couple dates with it just to check it out. I'm gonna end up sending it back. And trying something. I liked it though, so I would endorse that. I don't think it's the right thing
for you
for me.
Right. That's a good safety thing to have with you.
Yeah,
and how expensive?
Really, you know those that, like crate power block thing.
Yeah.
That he made? It's like smaller than that, and that's I think it was like $3 something.
Investing $300 in a backup,
yeah,
if you gig a lot, is really not that much.
Yeah, it's not. I just I don't know, between like that and a Princeton, I was like, you know what, I'll just grab a road case for one of these and just like send the second one out and have it at least.
Is that what you do?
You
bring 2 with you?
Well, that's the current plan. This is all fresh with this whole power stage. Like, a matter of fact, I have the like return label FedEx thing like printed out, and I'm just like rolling around with it in my car because I'm lazy like that.
I think with us, like at least in our band, like we leave most of our stuff like in the trailer and road cases, and like I think maybe we need to start like, even if we don't bring out duplicates, like have a third amp that we just always
just something a shared backup rig. Yeah.
Yeah, because something happens. I'd say every 2 to 3 months.
A good like direct option. That's good. And
yeah.
I tried one of these little fly rig.
It's good to have
pedalboards
redundancies.
That was this T-Rex Soulmate thing.
Yeah.
It was this cool little. I called out. I was like, oh, I want to get one of these little. Was it the like Tech 21 like fly rig things? I think they're like super small. I just wanted like a backup because I was having pedalboard. You know, when you step on a thing or you get some like kind of a chord thing going on, you just like want to throw everything in a river. You know? Like where is this? On
Start over, just clean it up.
Yeah, well, you know, it's just like a gear reliability thing, and it's like nobody cares that your gear's broke, man.
Right.
Like, the audience doesn't care. Like your drummer doesn't care. Like the singer doesn't care.
Right. They're not stopping.
They don't care.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't. And like
no.
you need to just like recognize that and like be professional as you can and like be ready to deal with whatever kind of ridiculous gear shit the gear gods decide to throw on you that night.
Yeah,
You're
man.
ready to go.
Last weekend I had a tube go up, and it's like, you know, I carry fuses with me, I carry cables, I carry backup power cables, you know, everything. But I didn't have.
You didn't have that.
I didn't have I didn't have a freaking tube, and then with tubes anyway. You know, it happened to be a power tube that blew, and you can't just always tell by looking at them, too.
Oh, yeah, what do you know?
And it's like, in the dark, and having a redundancy is pretty damn important, or a backup amp or something.
Well, I mean, I'd recommend giving that thing a try. It was cool. I'm sure there's some other
makes
things
a lot of
out
sense.
there, but, you know, I think, like, again, it's an emergency backup thing. I think, like, simple running direct, you know, kind of, I'm just going to find something that's a little simpler, more compact than that, because it still was like cables and like power supplies and like doing all that stuff. It's like, no, if I just want like one thing, I can even have hooked up already to go and have a channel for it and like just be done. I haven't figured that out yet, but that's where I'm heading with it. I know that's not the answer just because I have limited financial resources for that. And that was a cool little rig between that Soulmate and that power sock thing, but it was like an $800 backup rig-ish, and it's like, I don't need that.
Right.
You know? So.
Gotcha.
It's like, I think this whole rig is probably available for $800, I would assume.
Yeah, well let's talk about your board. I'm gonna jump up here and grab some so I can show them your board. But why don't you kind of talk through you know, what you have sound-wise going on. So do you use Verb from your amp?
I do. I've just always been a combo amp guy.
Yeah.
I have this great one of the 65 reissue like twin reverbs that I got when I was in high school. I was in this huge like Stevie Ray Vaughan phase, so I was like I need like a blackface Fender amp, and I got a hold of this thing, and it's super cool, man, and it still lives, and it's considerably more beat up than than even this one is.
Right.
But you know that, and I've just played Fender amps, man. I have that, and I have this this Junior and a Princeton that I got like maybe like a year, 2 years ago. I got it maybe it's last year. It doesn't matter. Relatively fresh, and that's one of the '65 reissue Princeton things, which is really cool.
And they sound great.
And it does, man. It really does. The vibrato on that thing is great too. Which I love that kind of low baritone like wah 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 thing.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like this awesome Western sound.
Yeah.
Again, I did that because of the twin. Like again, I kind of like
Sure.
did a lot of my. This was my first like real amp that wasn't a solid state like modeling thing.
Yeah,
whatever it was. That
Makes you play honest, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it does. But that was I think I was looking for that, you know.
For sure.
And
yeah,
it's like, hey, like this is good. We'll kind of play clean through that, and just playing like not plugged in, I think is great.
Yeah.
For cleanliness and just making sure you know how your damn guitar works, but. That's not the only thing, though. I think there's an argument to be made about like learning your amp because that's like an integral part of your rig.
Well, let's
like,
talk about that
especially
first.
the little tube amps. Like they interact with the guitars a lot.
Yeah.
And
Let's expand on that a little bit, man. So like, people get amps, right? And I think that there's like this gray area where people like don't really know how to, like where to start with their amp. Do they start with everything on noon? And like, what do they go for? Like, do you have a basic system you have for, dialing in an amp that you haven't played before, or a new amp with a new guitar?
I mean, I would.
I've always been terrible.
I would probably EQ like at noon, and kind of start from there. I mean, I definitely know the sound that I'm looking for and can dial it out of pretty much whatever amp is there. But there's, I mean, it's all gain structure, like anything else. I mean, like this is like this guy does a lot too, like just the idea of kind of running like wide open. So this is set a little. Control to be had with just like that guy.
Sure.
The tone control too. I mean, does a lot. Just a dark like EQing control. So like, if you want to like just put all the treble in the world in your amp, so it's there. You want to do that kind of gnarly stuff, and it's there. And that doesn't need to be like something that you like click. Exactly the same as with like I just dialed the treble back on the amp,
right?
So and turn this wide open,
right?
So now I don't have anywhere to go but dark, and that sounds like when the hell am I going to use that? That's stupid. That tone does nothing. But like that wide open, like that's like glassy and usable, you know. Like that's totally usable. And like so's that. And so's that. So like
so you rely.
There's things on the guitar like for a reason, and like people don't use them. I think like 9 times out of 10, like they don't really get used. So I would say like. You know, I mean, these things are a pair, so like that'd be like setting the amp up to take advantage of the controls on the guitar. Like, hey, like where does this?
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
So you kind of like it to do exactly what you said. Like set the amp up in a way that you can control like your volume, but also like your dirt and your tone here. And so you're not really necessarily looking for that on the pedal board. Like on the pedal board, you're looking for something different.
Yeah, that would be like kind of like over the edge stuff that like the amp can't do.
So like, what do you have? What do you have on your board, and when do you use it?
Well, I have a tuner.
I love that sound of that vibe.
I have a tuner. And
Gotta start with the tuner.
I use that all the time because that's just like really important.
I've heard that other somewhere. People. Heard it.
Yeah, it's like a vitally important kind of thing, and you know, it is though. Like if you're thinking like one of these like little clip-on snark things or something, like I don't know, you don't have like an endorsement deal for
I don't.
snark or okay, fuck those.
Even if I did, you can still say that.
Well, and all of their ilk, because they're all wrong. Like it just doesn't do it right, and you're always in some kind of.
I've actually never owned one.
Well,
so I don't know.
There's no
if
reason
they
why
don't
you
work.
should. They're just not accurate.
Because like
They're
it's like
gross.
if you're on stage and it goes by vibration, it picks up everything else, kind of deal.
Yeah, it does, and yeah, just being in tune is a thing. It's really
It's an important thing.
It is, man, and it's like it's
Often overlooked.
often overlooked. Like tune early and tune often.
Yeah.
Scuba kind of, you know.
Whenever you have
whatever.
15 seconds, we're not playing. Check
Yeah,
the tuning.
yeah, literally between like any song or like
Yeah.
like a 2-bar break. Like, oh, you know what, G felt a little funny there. Like,
Yeah,
what's going on? And I mean, the polytunes are cool. The Boss ones are cool. It doesn't matter. The
Right.
chord like pitch black one.
They all work.
I don't think anyone's ever used the poly mode on Polytune. So
I don't even know
internet,
what the poly mode
if
is.
anyone exactly. It's I don't know. Like you're gonna tune all 6 strings at once. I have no idea. So
No, it doesn't.
there's
work.
probably many of you watching this probably have this tuner, and none of you have ever used poly mode on it. So
I literally have
Prove me
no
wrong.
idea that
Prove me wrong.
poly.
send them a video reply.
We have quite a lot of
Listen
comments.
here.
Maybe someone replied. I
Maybe
don't
they
know.
did, man. That would be cool. But yeah, so not getting too caught up on that. I think that was plenty. I do this full tone. I like their stuff.
Yeah.
Also, I bought it and it was expensive, so I just use it because I don't have like shelves of other crap lying around.
I love your answers, man.
I'm not a huge gear dude though. Like
Me neither. I
there's-
love this.
like
This
that's
is big
solid, and like it does. Like if you just learn how to work it, like it'll probably do what you're.
So you use that for just
trying to
some
do.
heavier tunes and like for the most part.
Yeah, like a little. You know, if you needed like a little boot. You know, you can get a little something more out of this. Has like a clean boost thing like built.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a clean boost because you can't use it by itself. But
Yeah.
you know, like that's got.
Now that
like,
sounds
more of a rock
great.
thing, and that's pretty open. Again, that tones back too on that because.
Dude, that's a lot of sustain for a lead
Oh,
too,
those
man.
are cool.
Dude,
And,
that
and
thing
like
is
that's
great.
down. Like I don't have. I back the tone off on that.
Yeah,
and, it depends on the guitar. I mean, the Tele kind of grabs those, and there's not really a shortage of treble in a Telecaster. So
No.
I don't really need like any tone on that. I try to get that like a little bit more of a
enough hair
compressed
already,
kind of
huh?
sound. And this one's cool too. It's a little heavier. Yeah. That's like, what was that? Oh yeah, I was playing Night Train last night. It was super fun.
The Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Loaded like a freight train.
And
How's that work?
It's like this thirds thing. So that's kind of like a heavier thing that I never get to use, but occasionally. Although a lot of that country rock stuff, like I would never use that with Peterbilt. But
Yeah.
like the Richie Fields band, we do a lot of this modern country stuff that's pretty indistinguishable from rock as far as the tones are concerned.
I know.
And,
Like the whole "She's Country" thing. Like that's a rock song. We covered
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean a lot of that stuff. There's this what's this one? There's one that's this super cool little like hybrid pick. Like I. Like that's a
cool
rock riff, right?
Now,
And that's
what
all
song
like-
is that? Or is that one of
I don't
his?
remember the name of it.
That's a great little line.
Yeah, I don't remember there. I think it's like Luke Bryan or something, man. Like, boo.
That's a
maybe.
great little
I
lick.
don't even know. I don't remember the name of it.
I'm gonna have to figure that one out.
I'm bad with that stuff sometimes on a set list. And it's like,
Dude.
oh God, what is that, man?
Dude, no shit. People are. Fortunately, in our band, I'm not the leader, and Maynard will usually start every song. But there's a couple where throw a wild card in there and be like, play this one, like go with the title. I'm like, I don't know. I don't hear that shit in my head. I don't know what that title is. If you play one note, you have it.
Yeah.
Right? But as far as titles, I'm with you, man.
So I use those two drives. They're pretty versatile. I mean, it can set them up for whatever
Right.
band it is. Like I would use a little different settings for like Josh Willis, like for that stuff, because that's again it's got kind of this grungy,
Right.
more alternative kind of thing. I had a wah in there because I use it with his for Josh. I don't really use it for anything else. But when I had this whole wiring like fiasco, I was just like, I don't need this. That's two cables and a pedal that I don't need in the line. So I'll throw it on there if if
That's
I
so
need
funny,
it.
man. I feel like the wah is like the only pedal I have to have besides the tuner.
I have that exact one though, the Vox one. I've had it for like 20 years.
Yeah, and it's like the battery powered.
Yeah.
Yeah, like nothing you plug in. Dude, all I have on my board again is reverb, this EP boost, which I think is like the best pedal I've ever had. Like listen to this clean, You put it Woo! I mean, it's for a little boost. The thing's.
And then you're using this Wampler reverb and not this expression.
Yeah, this is broken. It's broken.
Oh, okay. Perfect reason. Yeah.
It's broken.
Dude, been there.
The only
This
problem.
has been broken many times.
Yeah, the only problem with these pedal reverb units is like when it's clean, right? It's kind of even that's a little wet, but like it's okay. And as soon as you put something in front of it, you're swimming.
Oh wow.
You see that?
Yeah.
And especially if I go to like a gain channel, I'm like really swimming.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
So that sucks.
Yeah.
There's nothing like having a real spring.
Because like that's a little bit more of a modernish amp. Like, is there an effects loop on there? Do you put that in a loop, or you run
I got it straight. And I'm sure if I put it in the effects loop, it wouldn't. Actually, I don't know if it wouldn't do that.
Try it. Something different,
That's
You
true.
you probably don't turn it on and off really. So just like try
dude,
it. And
literally
throw it right up there.
Dude,
None of my amps have effects loops on them, so I can never do that. Like
This is the first one that I played that really does. Traditionally, I've just played Class A single channel amps like that, loop, but built-in reverb. But anyway, that old school Vox wah that's like super.
Weird noise going on there.
I don't know.
It's that cell phone noise.
Yeah, who knows?
We're good.
But yeah, that Vox wah I couldn't do without it, man. Because there's something about it that it gives you a little boost too.
I did, dude.
Yeah, and I love having that little boost.
I just don't play a lot of like wahs and country music like aren't a thing. It's one of those.
Yes and no.
You don't run into it a lot.
No, you don't.
On recording. So like I don't often get like called upon to if I was in like a Guns N' Roses tribute band or something like, and you didn't have a wah, I'd be like, dude, you're fucking fired. Like right now, like you do not have the requisite gear to accomplish this gig.
Right.
But
I said Kirk Hammett.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Whatever. One of those like wah guys.
Right.
And it was cool. Like I mean, I got that Vox one when I was I don't know, I was probably 12 or 13 or something, and I'm like,
I
wanted
had this
to be,
exact
like,
one since I'm like 15.
I wanted to play Voodoo Child, man, and like
Yeah.
I was in the bedroom like trying to play Voodoo Child, and I was like, fuck, like this isn't right.
Yeah.
I was like, I need a wah.
The one thing I love about this wah as opposed to others is that it's harsh.
Yeah.
And it's not like as moderate. I don't know. Like I feel like there's a lot of wahs where it's so scooped and controlled. Where like this one, like when it's all the way down,
It's noisy.
it's
and
totally
just,
mud. But when it's all the way forward, it's like it like hurts.
Yeah.
You know, I love that. You know, I hate.
But you have to rein it in.
That's what I mean. It's like 0 and 100 are both like they shouldn't be there. You know, it should go from 10 to 90. But the fact that you have that little extra, because sometimes like if it's just blistering, I'll put it on and just put it all the way up and just treble pickup.
Like,
and just
you have the full range of control.
just throw razor blades across the room.
Yeah.
I love that.
You have it. That's like your shower. It's like freezing cold and burning hot.
Yes,
You don't
you
have to
need
use those settings, but like
Every
to
now and
have
again.
unadulterated control over the tone, it has to be there.
Right. Every now and again, I'm hungover as shit, and it's like, give me the ice cold water.
Oh man, so what are we're going through these.
All right, all right.
We got drive stuff.
Yeah.
I
Use a
put
Keeley
both of those
compressor.
in the front, and then this Deja Vibe thing, which I love. I don't have
Kind of like
any
a Univibe,
other. Yeah. I mean, it's the Univibe is a super cool thing because like.
Yeah.
You'll notice I don't have a chorus or a vibrato or a phaser or an anything.
None of those colors.
This is an outstanding catch-all mod pedal.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's just kind of a sweet thing. That's starting to pop up in like some clean country tones and stuff like Dave Cobb is producing. That'd be like Chris Stapleton and like Jason Isbell records is a great one. Brent Cobb, Sturgill stuff.
I love Sturgill
that
stuff.
That tone is like a thing.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of harking back a little bit to that kind of Waylon Jennings country stuff and like.
Or super
Univibes were a huge thing then too. So, I mean, and that is actually like is a univibe on a lot of those.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can. There's like a little bit of water on it. You know? It's
no, that's
kind
cool.
It's a wet thing, but it's not quite a chorus. But you can get that kind of like Pink Floyd-y like. I don't know.
What a great track. What's the name of that song?
Oh, that one's Time, man. All the Dark Side is just killer, man.
Oh.
One of those guys I wanted to like kind of strive to be like. I mean, honestly, I think it was like this backup plan because like I wasn't very fast at playing, so I was like, well, I really want to be like David Gilmour because like I can't be like Eddie Van Halen or like any of these guys. And I think it was a good choice though because the guy.
Hell yeah, it's a good choice.
Great, man. All his stuff and. Melodies are just are great, and
that's the big thing. It's like
should be hummable,
hummable guitar. Exactly.
Yeah,
that's the goal, dude.
That should be. But you know, some people just like hum and process things faster. Like if you take like a shreddy guy that's like a good shreddy guy, and like put it on one of those little slow down apps or it's good and it's still in tempo and there's like swing in it and all this stuff, and it's like, dude, how do you do that at that rate of speed? Like I don't get.
You know, some people say it's easier to do it at that rate of speed, and a lot of those guys, when they try to slow down, it's harder for them.
Yeah.
Almost like
they just process things differently, I guess. Some
but
people
even though
see colors differently, I think people hear sounds differently.
Yeah, well, I definitely think that's true. But if you do a lot of metronome work, I mean, I've always found that like slower is harder than faster.
Oh yeah.
Like big time. Like you really want to humble yourself, try to get a simple passage at like 60 or 50. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And see how much dog shit you sound like. It is the truth, man. Because you got to subdivide internally.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
and you can't break that subdivision at all because it's not fast enough for it to do it, itself.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we were talking about metronomes a little bit before, so we can dig back into that as far as like.
Yeah. Well, let's.
Oh, and then this DL4. dude, I cannot get rid of this DL4. I have bought delay pedals.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep going back to that. I think
Why
it's
is that?
just it just does everything.
It's big.
It's this giant, clunky, ugly
Spaceship
thing. I don't
pedal.
even know if it sounds that good. It doesn't matter.
You like it because
just
you know how to
works.
use it,
Yeah.
and like it does what you want to do. It doesn't talk back, kind of deal.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
It just works. I just can't get rid of it. And I'm sure there's some really expensive boutique, super cool delay pedal that would kick the shit out of that. But for like $2 for a delay pedal, cannot be beat.
Yeah.
Absolutely can't So whatever. I don't know. If you find some awesome delay pedal and you want to get rid of your DL4, I'll take it back up. I'll give you $50 for it, just in case something bad happens.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the compressor is definitely a thing. I go through phases with it. I don't always.
How's it
use
sound with it
but,
off right now?
I use a pretty low key. But you know, I guess over the course of what you kind of lose is this like really fine dynamic. 'Cause it's gonna want to kind of grab that.
That's
and
why I
like,
don't have one.
If you want to like really hit hard, it's gonna squash that a little bit. But I use it kind of on the outskirts, just like you would in Logic or Pro Tool. Like you're gonna throw a compressor on something, like you're not gonna just completely destroy the dynamic range, but you want to tame it a bit.
Yeah.
And
no, that's true. And
I don't know. I think it's important. You know, I guess I've always kind of you try to model your tone off of these like records, but like that's like a recorded tone. That's like impossible to achieve live in a room. So it's like you have to balance a little bit and like realize what kind of tone you're getting out of your amp versus like that thing you're trying to achieve that like also went through like some awesome like SSL console and like the best gear on earth.
The other
going
thing,
through because like that engineer's goal I think is to try to make it sound how it does in the room, but it doesn't.
Yeah, not always.
It's got to sit in the track.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and the other thing is that I think it was Matt Berry that came through again that said that, you know, he brought up a good point. He's like, the reason I use compressors, and like, yeah, I give up some of that dynamic range, but like everybody hearing my stuff isn't listening to stage sound. You know, it's going through the compressors or whatever to come out of the PA, or if I'm recording something, they're listening to it on their phone or in their car or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's basically only me that's hearing that little bit of difference. Because by the time it gets to whoever's listening to it, they're not going to tell whether it's on or off in general.
Mm-hmm.
And tube amps in particular, you know, the more you push them, the more they naturally compress anyway.
Absolutely.
So, but
I think I watched Matt's. He's got 2 of them on there, doesn't he?
he does have 2.
Yeah. Wow.
One he leaves on and one for like a little extra push.
Yeah. Well, because they have kind of a cool clean boost kind of function to them.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, I know a lot
Just
of people
got
do it
getting
for
on the
leads.
record
I've never had one on my board just because I just haven't. I've never plugged one in and said, okay, I'm going to keep this. I like it. It just hasn't happened. But I see why people do it. I mean,
Yeah.
It sounds great, man.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the always on.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. It's just kind of part of the signal path. So.
Well, let's play one more. We've been talking a while.
Yeah.
What else you got for me?
Oh man. We'll go with you, man. What do you got there? You know, it's like I got weird on the forum
Because
there.
that's a good
We're
place
just
to-
hanging on that.
Yeah, so that's a good good place to stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just just abandon.
Just do it.
Oh,
Fun.
what else haven't we talked about?
We did some gear.
Well, how about?
We kind of got through that.
Yeah, I think we got through most. Well, dude, you sound great, man. I really like the way you play, man, and your rig and everything, dude. It's nice to meet you, dude.
Absolutely.
And I hope that I can get out and see you someday soon, man.
Please do.
It's so hard when you know how it is. You gig all the time.
We'll get something with Bowers on it, so there's like a.
We gotta get something with Matt Bowers.
Yeah, like Facebook with Matt Bowers.
Dude,
I was a long-term holdout though. I've only been on Facebook for like 3 years maybe.
Really?
Yeah, like long-term staunch holdout, and it happened.
Yeah.
I got sucked in. I live on my phone now.
I know. Well, Matt Bowers left Facebook. He's only on Instagram now.
Oh, okay.
He pieced out. He couldn't handle it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't do Instagram. I don't know. I probably have one, but I don't know the.
No, I looked for you. I couldn't find you because I was gonna tag you.
Yeah. I don't know, man. We're missing on the whatever the huge Instagram market is, which probably is. I don't know.
It's massive.
I'm so bad at that stuff.
Stupid. It's hard, man. It's such a moving target too. Every day they come out seemingly with a new algorithm, something new that's different. Like it's so challenging.
Yeah. Well, hey, social media students of marketing and stuff, get out there and help a musician. We should all be hiring these people, you know?
Dude, I know. We gotta make some money first.
We totally do. Yeah, that's the issue.
It's hard making a living with
we need interns.
Guitar, man.
We need interns.
Interns. Yeah. Gotcha.
Vandalay Industries.
What's that? What was that Chevy Chase movie when he's like, oh, that's Rhonda. Who's Rhonda? Oh, Rhonda's my secretary. Who are you? Oh, she's my boss. I forget. I just butchered it. I can't remember.
Chevy Chase ones.
Yeah, I don't know. He's sneaking. He's sneaking into this party, and they're like, oh, who are you? And they're like, oh, I'm Rhonda's boss. Like, well, who's Rhonda? Oh, she's my secretary. You know, and he walks like right in past me, like, what? Anyway,
circular confusion.
Anyway, well, dude, thanks for coming over, man.
Dude, it's just a blast.
Excellent.
Absolute
Very
blast.
nice to meet you. You sound
Pleasure
great.
to meet you.
Please come back.
I'm glad that your studio is still standing after the
fire.
the
I know.
Yeah.
We're here.
Change your smoke alarm batteries out there. That's our PSA for the day.
For sure. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will post this with better audio so you can hear his rig and all his sweet licks, like with the actual mic, on Saturday probably. And for everybody that's a subscriber, I'll be on at 10 o'clock tonight where we're talking about practice routines.
Yes.
Yeah, about how to not just noodle all the time and focus on your weaknesses, not just your strengths.
It's the hardest thing.
Dude,
the hardest thing.
Discipline. It is the hardest thing, man. All right. Excellent job, dude.
Yeah, it went by really fast, man. I think we did a lot of yakking, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
It will happen.